All right. Hello. As we're waiting for some people to hop on, I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Dr. Ashley Isom with NAPLEX Time. I do tutoring, small group classes, and one-on-one sessions to help prepare you for the NAPLEX. And today we are just going over a simple concept. Let me see if anybody have some people trying to hop on now. So I'm okay. So looks like we're great. We have a few people here. So here's what I want to show you. I've heard people kind of talking about MMEs and they didn't learn it in school or it's not in RX prep. And whether that's true or not, I want to show you how simple it can be. So we've all learned this, right? We know this um, opiate conversion chart. And ideally, we would have everything memorized. Okay. And that would be my counsel to you, just memorize everything. Because let's just say some students have said in the past, not recently, but in the past, that they had a conversion that was not even one that is highlighted. So better off knowing it than not knowing it. Most of the time, though, having said that, most of the time they do actually provide you the conversion in the question. But when they don't, you need to know it. So you notice that the first three are highlighted. So morphine, hydromorphone, and oxycodone. You should definitely know those. They're not too bad. IV to PO conversions. So that equivalency chart, know those three for sure. Now, what people don't know is this, the morphine milligram equivalents. Which of you guys, can you comment? Who's ever heard of that before? The MMEs. Have you learned that in school? I am trying to see my stream. So if you could comment, guys, have you learned MMEs in school? Is this awesome, Ryan? That's great that you have. I love that. And hey, anybody who's on here, just continue to stay on here. I'll be your best friend forever. And just comment as much as possible so we can get this to more people. Um, so here we go. And if you see this as a recording that's online, please comment on that too. If it helps you at all, do that. Okay, so we're going back over here. And here's the big trick to it. This will be provided. This is a big, what they call opioid oral morphine milligram equivalents, conversion factors. That's all it is. It's a conversion factor. In fact, the conversion factors should be the same as what we memorize here. So it should all work out. But look they provided many more drugs, many more opiates than what we learn on this chart. For example, they have oxymorphone, they have all this, hydrocodone, hydromorphone, but they may have added, like, look, they even added methadone, opium. So what if a question asks about one of these other drugs? Well, we need to know how to use it. The easiest thing, all right? You're either going to multiply or divide. Simple. Multiply or divide. So if you are going, here's our trick. If you're going from morphine to a drug, divide. Divide that dose by the conversion factor, and you would find it up here. If you are going from another drug to morphine, multiply by that conversion factor. So MDD or DMM. Okay, so here's our example right here. Using the MME conversion chart above, a patient is taking oxycodone 10 milligrams PO Q4H. What is an equivalent morphine PO dose? Okay. So they were, for one, let's highlight this. All right, super simple. Let's do this on every question. Make a practice of doing this. What are you looking for and what are the units? So why don't we do this even here? I'm looking for X milligrams of PO morphine per dose. Don't forget to finish it completely. We need to know whether it's per dose or per day. And it's per dose. So I would write that up to the side. In the meantime, here's the current dose. How about you guys write it in your chat? Are we doing MDD or DMM? Are we going from a drug to morphine or morphine to a drug? Oh, okay. So I need to make it bigger. Yes, ma'am. Let's make that bigger. Thank you. Yeah. So patient is taking oxycodone 10 milligrams. What is an equivalent morphine dose? We're going to, guess what? We can see it already right here. Here's the conversion factor. Do you multiply or divide? Is that big enough for you? Okay, thanks. And hey, y'all, anybody else who's on there, please comment, even if it's just an emoji or something. Yeah, you guys are great. MDD or DMM, we're going from a drug to morphine, so we multiply. Correct? Okay, multiply by this, 1.5. Let's see. DMM, oxy 10, multiply the conversion factor, 1.5. There you have it, morphine, 15 milligram PO. So is that not the most awesome thing ever? So easy. They'll provide the chart. You say DMM or MDD. Bam, that's it. Okay, so I have another practice question for you. Except now, it's actually the same question. Same question, but I want you to do it, see if you get the same answer by using the chart that was given to us that we are supposed to have memorized. Okay, I hope, oops, I hope that's big enough as I show the answer. So what I love doing is say you're brain dead on the test because it is such a long test and you're bound to go brain dead at some point. On one side of the equal sign, when you're doing a proportion as a conversion, you can use the milligrams from the equivalency chart on one side of the equal sign. So like oxycodone 20 milligrams, right? Because that's oral oxycodone. And then morphine PO 30 milligrams. Morphine PO 30 milligrams. Both of these in red are directly from the equivalency chart. I know to put them on one side of the formula, on the equal sign. On the other side is reality. And in the question, we had 10 milligrams PO oxycodone per dose, and we want to know what an equivalent PO morphine dose is. So we cross multiply and divide. And guys, I cannot believe that I see people still taking so much time. They're doing this multiply both sides by the denominator, cross out. Let me show you a quicker way, please. Please take a few minutes and learn it. It's less chance of error. So you cross multiply. So wherever there's two numbers and not an X, cross multiply. 30 times 10 divided by 20. Okay, cross multiply and divide. I think we learned it in high school or junior high or younger. Okay, but let's do that. It's way easier. Your answer should be morphine 15. Isn't that the same answer we just got? What answer did you get? Write it in the chat. Ryan's like, so many drugs to remember. Wow. I know it is so many drugs, but wouldn't you rather, if you got to a question and you happen to need to know it, wouldn't you rather just have a simple memorization with all the hard things that you guys know? Skipping on something simple is self-defeating. Great job. You got morphine 15. Excellent. Perfect. Nice, guys. Um, they always provide the conversion factor. Yes. To answer that question, if they are doing MMEs, they will provide you the chart right here. If they, if it is one of, if they're just asking for one of these drugs, they might not. They still do most of the time. Honestly, they'll just put it in the question. If you do some practice RX prep or PNN questions, it's very similar to what they have there, except for I'm unaware of UWorld RX prep using the MMEs, and it's come up, so that's why I wanted to show you. Let's see my other. Okay, so why don't we try another one? We're going to scroll down just a little bit here. We found that. Let's try this. Example, here's another example. Which one is stronger, oxymorphone 10 milligrams or morphine 30 milligrams? What are you going to do? They might provide you the equivalencies, right? Or you have to have it memorized. Oxycodone, oxymorphone, PO, let me bring that down. PO is 10 milligrams. Okay, happens to be the same strength that they're talking about here. So what is that in relation to morphine? Well, why don't I go and look for morphine? Morphine, PO, guess what? It's 30. So they're both on the equivalency chart. They're actually equal. When they put the units like this on, then you are going to do a conversion and use the conversion factor. What if they said this? Hypothetically, because they do. Sometimes they say put them in order of potency, right? And then always be very careful because it's the smallest questions that we miss. Like we will know how to do everything, but then we just miss something small. Let's not do that. At least let's get all the questions that we know. Let's get those right. So what if they say this? Which one is more potent or which one is stronger? If they just write the name of the drug and no strength. Morphine 30 or oxymorphone 10, that's equivalent. So milligram per milligram, our oxymorphone is stronger because it has a lower milligrams here. So it doesn't take as many milligrams to equal the same amount of potency for morphine. So the oxymorphone is stronger. So you see how it changes if you put milligrams after it. Any questions on that one, guys? Kind of. Okay, MME, I'm seeing some questions coming in. MME stands for, go back up here, morphine milligram equivalence. It's a conversion factor. They're going to give it to you. Since more people are joining now, I'll just go through it again, all right? They will provide this chart for you, and you may not have learned it in school. You may not be on UWorld, but it's really actually very easy. You will do opioid conversions using MMEs if they provide the chart. And they probably will if they're asking you about it. So this is the trick. All you need to do is either multiply or divide, but in order to know whether you multiply or you divide, if you're going from morphine to another drug, you divide MDD. Divide by the conversion factor. If you're going from drug to morphine, multiply. Drug to morphine, multiply. And that's it. So our example, I think I'm just swinging through it again because we're getting the hang of coming on here now. Patient is taking oxycodone 10 milligrams PO Q4 hours. What's an equivalent morphine PO dose? So in this question, we're going from the drug to morphine. So if it's drug to morphine, multiply. So we take our oxycodone 10, let's look for oxycodone. Here it is. Here's our conversion factor. We are going to take 10 times 1.5 because it was drug to morphine multiply. So there it is, oxy 10 times 1.5, and we get morphine 15 milligram PO. What do you think? Super easy? Leave a comment. Was that easy? That was super easy. Tell me how easy that was. And yes, so Eriki, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce your name, but yes, when I asked you about which one was more potent, the oxymorphone, you obviously got that one right. Yes, they always provide the conversion factor. Answering the other questions. And awesome, Ryan. Yes, it is very easy. You guys are great. And like I said, from time to time, they don't provide this chart, and it just needs to be memorized. The more frequent ones would be the first 3. Remember, for a conversion, if you don't want to have to think a lot, save those brain cells for something that's hard. If you don't want to have to think for these conversions, you make a proportion, and on one side, you use what's on the equivalency chart. For example, oxycodone 20 was on the chart right here. Morphine 30, morphine PO 30, there it is. That's on one side, and then reality's on the other side. Bam, I don't have to think very much if I just make a routine of that. Okay, I'm all for not thinking is hard. Just make it easy. Okay, so we talked about oxymorphone and morphine. And let's do this question. How many milligrams of morphine is equal to oxymorphone 20? How many milligrams of morphine is equal to oxymorphone 20? You might want to write this down. Sometimes I need to write it down to see. I think I better be more concise and say morphine PO compared to oxymorphone PO. Let's do that. So using the chart above, we could have done proportions, but why don't we use the MME conversion chart? So we're going from we're going from oxymorphone 20. So we're going from the drug to morphine. What do? Multiply. I hope everybody wrote down multiply. Write down multiply, because that's what we do. Oxymorphone 20 to morphine. Okay, that means I'm going to look for oxymorphone on the MME chart. Oxymorphone, the conversion factor is 3 right there. Okay, remember 3, that's our conversion factor. So I go oxymorphone 20 multiply by 3. We said drug to morphine multiply. There it is. Morphine 60 is the answer. So easy. It's either multiply or divide. And then what do you do using proportions? Same thing we did before. On one side of the chart is, on the one side of the equal sign is everything on the conversion chart. On the other side is what's in reality. And don't forget, you should cross multiply and divide. If you are one of these people that are multiplying on both sides so that you can cross out and doing so many steps, please just message me for make it more straightforward. If there's anything also that I say today that doesn't make sense, you just let me know. All right, and so either way we did it, we got the same morphine 60 milligrams. Morphine 60 milligrams, and we're going to stop right there. And I'm just going to put it out there for you guys that I am happy to go through practice questions with you. You can send them my way, and we can decide on times that work best for you, that we can do some live sessions together. You can ask questions, and we'll just go through them step by step and make them easier. So there's that. And I will leave my contact info up here. Of course, you could message me or DM through social media, but if you like my email address, it's right here. And as a reminder, I do tutoring. I do small group one-on-ones and some classes. So please feel free to go to the snaplextime.com if you are interested. And thank you so much for showing up. I hope to see you again, guys.